So isn't that interesting? I had a beekeeper reach out to me asking me about the temperature setting on the vaporizer, maybe alluding to it being too hot. And when it's too hot, the oxalic acid decomposes into different products. So asking the question, how much oxalic acid is actually being treated with that device at certain doses? So I got to thinking, yeah, how do I know how much of that oxalic acid is actually sublimating within the colony to be able to actively, target the mites? So what I did was I fired up the device and I took a dose, a 3-gram dose, and I blew it into this garbage bag. So I took a tear of this bag, the weight of it's written down. I took a full dose and I blew it into this bag and then let it condense and then weighed this bag afterwards. So then I weighed the bag after it condensed, and my tear of the bag was 24.37 grams, and the weight of the bag after the treatment, after it condensed, was 26.3 grams. So I used a 3-gram dose. So what's the exact difference there? So 1.93 grams. That's how much oxalic acid condensed onto the sides of the bag. So from 3 grams to almost 2 grams. That's pretty good, I think. And it took basically 30 seconds for that to gas off into the bag. So I'm going to do it again to see if I can achieve the same results. All right, I'm going to use the same bag. So I'm going to get another tear on this bag. Zero that out. This thing is sure finicky. Okay, that's zeroed. So now to blow 3 grams of oxalic acid into this bag. That has been 10 minutes now. Let's see how much has condensed. Look at that. Needed a mask for that. Still that, just a little bit of a dust floating around inside, so it hasn't fully condensed yet. I'm gonna have to leave it for another 10 minutes maybe. All right, that's been 20 minutes. It's long enough. Let's see what we have here. Still that dust. Let's wait to see what we have. That's a neat little experiment. Running a 3-gram dose through this vaporizer that's set at 225 to 30. Taking 20 minutes. 20 minutes, it still wasn't fully condensed. I hurried it up a little bit. Oh, so on my hands here. I am getting residue of oxalic acid within the bag at just about 2 grams and just over 2 grams. So I'm losing some of it. But with the 3-gram dose, I'm getting, roughly that 2-gram treatment. Well, if that little trial's done anything, it has reinforced the importance of blocking the entrance during treatment. Like after 10 minutes within the bag there, I couldn't even breathe because there was so much of that vapor. It's not vapor, that floating oxalic acid dust. And after 20 minutes, it was still floating around. That just reinforces the importance of closing off that entrance after treatment. If I'm providing a 3-gram dose, and as it burns off, 2 grams is actually floating around within the colony, I want to keep as much of that 2 grams in the colony. I don't want it zipping out the front door. I mean, even 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it was still floating around. 20 minutes is a long time. But it is what it is. I'm going to have to block off the entrance for a lot longer. Where right now I don't at all. The Carrie does a little bit. But we're going to have to run a rule laying a towel up in front to allow that dust to condense. I've always been told that. I never listened. I think I'm going to start applying that.